How's it going, YouTubers? I'm going to show you a trick today that I use to seal up differential covers. It's always worked for me in the past. Most of the time, believe it or not, I don't use RTV and I don't use gaskets. I just use black grease. I know it sounds crazy, but I had an old school mechanic tell me about that trick, and it's always worked up until now. I'm not sure what's different with this car or the cover, but the grease method didn't work. Now, the benefit to just using grease is you don't have to clean up any gasket or RTV mess if you get back in the rear end for anything. I've also used it on transmission pans a couple times, but with that being said, it didn't work this time, so I'm going back to another method that I do to make sure differentials seal. I'll show you here. Using black RTV, I run 2 beads, and then between the beads around each bolt hole, I'll connect them to seal them. Now this is where I did do it different than most mechanics. Most mechanics will put the cover on, tighten it down, fill it with fluid, send it on its way. The problem with that is I've never had one not leak after that. It might take 6 months, but eventually there'll be a little drip. So what I do different is when I put the cover on, I'll just finger tighten it down just a little bit so it gets a little squish on the RTV. I don't tighten it down all the way. I let it sit for 24 hours. I'll come back the next day, I'll tighten it down the rest of the way, and I put the fluid in. I've never had that fail yet. Now, with that being said, hopefully I'm not jinxing myself. One other thing too is I let the fluid drain out for a while before I RTV it. Make sure it's all out of the bottom, because if it pulls up in the bottom, eventually it'll come out and it'll mess things up. So make sure you get the fluid out of the bottom. Like I said, just finger tight, let it sit 24 hours, and I've never had it fail yet. So I'm open to questions, ideas, whatever. So I hope this helps. Talk to you later.